Welcome to Storytimer. Zetta Mae Warner. Zetta Mae Warner was born in 1915 in Perry County in southern Indiana. She worked as a secretary in 1973 at Fort Benjamin Harrison and lived in Lawrence, Indiana. Her husband had passed away in 1962. She lived a quiet life. On Wednesday, September 12, 1973, she had gone to the grocery store. When she returned home, she was beaten, raped, and strangled with a phone cord and her own apron strings. A neighbor had become concerned when she could not reach Zetta and peered in the front window sometime around 11 p.m. She saw Zetta on the floor and called the police. Who could have done this? Bobby Louis Barnett is an available suspect for this assault and murder. He worked for Indiana Bell and could have knocked on a door at just about any hour and people would have let the uniform in. He could have followed Zetta home from the store. He killed Betty Burns in May 18, 1974. He abducted her from a grocery store and assaulted and murdered her at a pet cemetery east of Indianapolis. He would serve about a decade and a half for Betty's murder. He would attempt the murder of another woman and is currently incarcerated in Indiana as of 2024. Steven Timothy Judy is potentially available as well. Judy spent some time in Louisiana, but could be back in India by then. He did have a history of entering victims' homes. He conned his way into a home when he was 12 and raped and nearly killed a woman with a hatchet. His last murder would also be a mother. I have a theory about Judy and mother types. In 1979, he killed Terry Lee Chasteen and her 3 young children in Mooresville. He would ask for the death penalty at his sentencing, and he received it in 1981. He strangled Terry Lee with things that she had on. The fact that Zetta is strangled with a phone cord and her own apron strings really stands out here. Judy had a history of attacking women, of course, but he also had spoken at length about his sexual attraction to his own mother and fantasies that he had about his own mother. So I really think looking at Steven Timothy Judy for rapes and murders of these mothers or mother-type women is potentially very, very valuable. I think the fact that Terry Lee Chasteen was a mother was what drew him to her. Can we place Judy in that neighborhood? Possibly. He worked driving a delivery van for Beacon Vans and also worked construction jobs. That side of the city was busy with construction and growth in 1973. I wonder if any DNA labs are working on a profile of Steven Timothy Judy's DNA. He had biological brothers and sisters. In 2019, Parabon Nanolabs developed a DNA profile of Jeffrey Lynn Hand because of the generous help of his sons, and solved the nearly 50-year-old murder of Pamela Milam in Terre Haute. This is a very cold case, but there's always hope of solving it. If they saved evidence in this case and it can still be located, there's definitely hope. 2 very likely suspects are Bobby Louis Barnett and Steven Timothy Judy. Other known rapists at the time, Anthony Wayne Hall and Jeffrey Lynn Hand, were not available for this assault and murder as they were both incarcerated at the time. Zetta Mae Warner is buried in the Dale, Indiana cemetery. She rests very near where she started off life. Rest in peace, Zetta Mae Warner.